a camera on your computer, please go ahead and turn it on so I can see beautiful faces. Even if you are in your pajamas, I do not care. But this is definitely an interactive class. So being able to see you guys and engage and interact together is going to make this class way more interesting and fun. So go ahead and turn it on if you can. That would be awesome. All right, and let's get started. So happy Monday, everybody. May the 4th be with you. For those of you that are Star Wars fans, we are going to kick it off. So KWRI helped me put this class together. An awesome woman named Kara helped me write this class, and then Caitlin on our team also helped us write it together. So she's a former KWRI staffer herself. And I'll introduce myself. I've taught in your Market Center before. I'm a big fan of your Market Center. You guys have an incredible culture. And so when Amber, who is a former KW Lubbock agent herself, and I were chatting, we were talking about what market centers would be the best for us to bring this class, and you guys were the first area we thought of. So we're thrilled to be with you, but some of you I haven't met in person. So I'm Seychelle Van Poel, and I have a couple of my team members on here with me as well. We've got Adrian, we've got Michael, we've got Amber, and we're thrilled to be with you today. We run a team called Van Poel Properties out of Dallas. We did right around 97 million in sales last year, and that was 288 home sales. And we have an awesome team that really serves the DFW Metroplex area. And then we have an expansion location in Austin. And I think the thing that we love the most about our team is our mission really is to help our clients and our team members become happier, healthier, and wealthier. And so by looking through the lens of that, this class, Blessed Not Stressed, really exemplified a lot of the things that we actually use in our business today. And the goal of the class today is to walk out, like we said a couple seconds ago, with actual plans and implementation ideas to grow your business through proven social media tactics to be able to actually get business. So we're going to talk through why social media and why we're going to use it, some of the challenges we're facing. Unfortunately, right now, would you guys agree more people are online probably than ever before? So I think Corona has really helped us with that. We're going to develop a strategy around that, and if you choose to set a budget, you can. But a lot of the strategies we're going to talk about today don't actually require you spending a lot of money. So my goal here is to be budget conscious and to show you how you can grow your business without actually having to spend a lot of money. And just to give you a frame of reference, of our 288 home sales last year, 25% of those were people that initiated first contact with us online. So just right around 70 home sales last year. Just a little over, it was like 78 closed, but over 25% actually of our leads came from social media. So we are going to keep the Zoom chat monitored on the side. So if you guys have questions, feel free to put them in there and we'll make sure we get those answered as well. And I also have a 6-year-old here at home named Quinn. So the door behind me might end up opening and closing from time to time because I'm working at our home office here today. So Quinn might pop in and out. So fair warning on our little guest. So this is the lead generation model, if you will, when we look at the Millionaire Real Estate Agent 2.0 that's coming out. This is what the lead generation model looks like when we create a funnel for marketing. Have any of you guys seen that? Kind of show of hands if you've seen this yet. Some of you have already seen it. Awesome. So when we look at that, right, we basically are doing our prospecting and our marketing, driving leads into the funnel and then driving them into contacts that we're connecting with. And one of the nice things is if you're doing advertising through command, right, then you're able to take advantage of some of that actually already going into your database. So when we look at developing a strategy, right, here's some things we want to keep in mind, right? We want to be clear on our purpose, clear on who we are, identify your themes, tell a story, and then engage and draw people into you. I think social media for real estate, when you see other realtors that are doing well in social media online, what are some of the things that you see them doing really well? Just out of curiosity, and you guys can unmute for a second. If you're on mute, actually, if you hold down your space bar and hold it down, it will unmute you for a second. And the second you take your finger off, it will remute you if you just don't want to have to click it back and forth.
Consistency. I think that the people who I remember for their social media are really consistent.
That's a great part. Consistency. What else do you think of? I think of not afraid to tell their story and tell a good story. Does anybody, like, show of hands, do any of you feel like when you are really successful by putting it out there on social media, it feels like you're bragging or almost like being egotistical? Does anyone have trouble with that? I sometimes do. I don't know if any of you guys do. But that was something I struggled with for a long time, was that people thought I was kind of being egocentric or a little bit like boastful. But that was something that I kind of had a hard time getting over a little bit. So I don't know if any of you have had challenges with that. What are some things you see of people on social media maybe that drives you insane? And you're like, oh no, that's not me. One of them is like where there's no internal like filter at all. It's 100% online. I'm like, that was too much. That was TMI right there. A little too much information. Or like the realtor that posts listings all the time and nothing else. Does anyone have any of those in their life? I akin it to this fine balance, right? Like if you showed up at a cocktail party or a happy hour, which one day when we're all allowed to gather as one again, we will do. So we'll pretend it's an online social happy hour for now, right? And you're meeting somebody new. How do you start that conversation, right? How would you start that conversation? Would you walk up with your, on Zoom right now instead of in person, right? Would we walk up to each other and say, hi, I'm Seychelle. Do you want to buy or sell a house today? Or like, hi, I'm Seychelle. Do you want to see my listing? Look, it's right here. Do you want to look at it? Do you want to look at it? Do you want to look at it? Like, we wouldn't ever do that in a social setting, right? But yet we see real estate agents, I think particularly like our industry, I think is probably one of the worst offenders of constant in your face business all the time without receiving permission to engage. And so if we were talking to somebody at a happy hour, right, we're going to walk up and say, I'm Seychelle. And you're going to say, what's your name, right? And Adrian's going to be like, I'm Adrian, right? We're going to have a conversation. And what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about all the things personal first. Tell me about you. Who are you? Where are you from? Do you have family? Where did you go to school maybe? Where did you grow up? Where do you live in town? Do you like to vacation? We're going to talk about all those things first before we ever get to the, oh, by the way, what do you do? And I think a mistake that we make oftentimes is we forget that we have to have a healthy balance of the two of those in order to be able to really draw people in. And so I think the first thing then is if we're meeting people online and maybe at first, right, a lot of people come in like on Instagram, right? You may be getting a lot of followers, but you don't know them yet. Or you may be getting friend requests, but you don't know them yet, right? You maybe didn't go to high school with that person or college, or they don't live in your neighborhood, right? We have to decide who we are presenting ourselves as on social media, and we got to get really clear about that. So I want you to take a second here, and I want you to write down some words that when somebody looks at your social media presence, these words are going to be what somebody thinks of when they see your posts or your advertising or your videos or your text. What are some of the words you want people to think of? Do you want them to think you're smart? You want to think you're interesting? Positive. Fun? Serious? Educated? Stats-based? Creative, right? What are some of the words that you think of when you think about who you are and how you want to present online? Okay, I'm gonna have you guys take yourselves off mute for a second and share with me some of the words that you think of when you think about what you want to present online.
Hi, this is Miranda. I'm with a title company.
Hi, Miranda.
And so I feel like on social media for my title companies, during this time, I've been wanting to present us as giving out, informational and, showing.
Oh, we lost you a second on the other part. What was the other one? Informational.
And just, just showing them ways they can still close their home and being available. Saying, like it was just a resource to say, hey, everybody go to our Facebook page and you'll be able to catch up on the latest, whatever it was, whether it's learning about remote online notarization or different ways they can close their clients' home from their own house or whatever. So really just trying to be informational.
Okay, so the words I heard from you were informational, resourceful, educational.
Yes.
Maybe helpful.
Yes, just helpful. And then, and then just finding creative ways to, make a dark situation kind of light, like finding fun marketing ways to present the information to where it wasn't too wordy. People would actually want to read it, which is hard because there was so much information. But that was just, and it was changing all the time. So it just became one place where we could keep everything and direct people to that site.
Okay.
And sometimes it was a lot, and I struggled with just because I market for 3 different title companies, so sometimes it was the same thing but with different logos. So I struggled with, oh my gosh, I'm just bombarding people with information, and yet I don't know, Tara kind of helped me with that one day. She was just like, sometimes you have to tell people a million times before they get it, and they can always scan through it. They don't have to like every single one of them, and at least it was a place just to keep everything in one place where they could go back and look.
Well, and don't forget too, the average person needs to hear a message 8 times before it actually sinks in.
Correct. Yes.
If you are going over and over, it's okay. Thank you for sharing that, Miranda. I'm hearing Wendy is passionate, creative, helpful. Mirren, I hope I pronounced that right. Organized, informative, fun. I love that. Sheree was genuine. Anne is positive, joyful, family oriented. Anna said interactive. That's a great word too. Let's do 1 or 2 others. What else do you guys hear? We'll let you guys speak up on Zoom for those of you that still have your cameras going. I love those. I know one thing Amber on our team is doing, right, is she is explorative is one that she's doing. She's really going and exploring different parts of town and sharing her journey with that, which is really neat. We'll talk about that a little bit, but that's a super fun one too.
A few ones that I wrote down were creative, flexible, caring, life-giving, and inspirational.
Love that. Life-giving. It's a really powerful statement. Okay, so now what I want you guys to do is I want you to take the words that you wrote down and I want you to put your phone for me on like airplane mode for a second so we don't squirrel out, because I know what we do as realtors. So put your phone on airplane mode for me for a second. And what I want you to do is we're going to take an additional minute and I want you to scroll back through your pictures on your phone. And I want you to scroll through and I want you to take a look and see which photos happen to make you smile or bring you joy. And I want you to make note of those or save them to a specific folder or heart them and favorite them. But I want you to take a couple minutes. I want you to go through the last year or 2 worth of pictures and just do a quick scroll. And I want you to take note of what you're noticing on the pictures on your phone. And if there's something particularly that makes you smile or elicits joy, I want you to write that down.
We have to create an allegory.
Mm.
Okay. Now that you guys are scrolling through there, what are some of the things that you're seeing that are making you happy or bringing you out of your phone?
I'm noticing.
Fun pictures of kids I'm just seeing for several weeks, and those are my favorites, and they make me smile at all the silliness that we do back and forth. And then other than that, it's mostly family and sunsets and anything outside, the sky, the sunsets, the wildflowers, pictures of my friends, interactions with family and friends. That would be me.
And that's beautiful. I love that. What else did you guys see?
I save a lot of inspirational quotes in my screenshots on my phone, and I like them, but I'm always curious if it's like overbearing to others if I'm posting that stuff a lot. So
We'll talk some about that. That's good. I think everyone could use a little hope right now too, right? So a little inspiration is never a bad thing. That's awesome. What else did you guys notice in your phone?
Experiences that I have with other people, just different relationships, and how pictures really bring that out.
Love that. I'm taking notes in the sidebar as you guys are talking on these two. That's awesome. So when I went through this exercise myself, some of the words that came to mind that I personally thought of were how I wanted to present online as I wanted to be fun and I wanted to be learning based. I wanted to be giving. I have energy and I wanted that energy to come across for others, right? I wanted to be a positive energy for people, and I wanted to empower people to grow and develop and do better. And we'll get into kind of how we build that out, right? But being fun for me is something that's really important, because I think when you like to have fun, when you have a little bit of humor, a little bit of levity online, people are attracted to that, because a lot of people go on social media to escape, right? And so, I think this little coffee guy over here would actually be Zoom right now. I know half of you guys don't have your screens on because you might be on the left side of that picture. So just know, I know if your camera's not on what you're doing right now. I'm just teasing. But when you look at this, right, like for me, it was about having fun. And so then the question became, how do we bring that out in our brand? And I'm going to show you an example of how we did that in our brand, and then we'll dig into actually putting this into your company and your brand and your persona. But we found that when we were giving a service to our clients, that we were real serious about buttoning up the details and being informational and educational and like doing a great job. But the one piece that we weren't portraying during the experience was the fun aspect of it. And so in our company marketing, we realized we had to go back and put the fun in there to say, oh, not only are we really good at what we do, but we also like to have a lot of fun. So the video I'm going to show you is an example of that we launched last year for our Pi Day. But before we had a videographer doing these for us, we were doing these with our iPhone cameras. So I don't want you to look at the quality of the video. I want you to look at the idea behind it. So this was our Pi Day video that we did for this last year when we gave away, this was year 7 for us. We gave away 455 pies and had 37 referrals come out of it. So this is our event though that we did.
The goal of the race is to do 44 laps while eating pie, while drinking water, going around and around and around. Goal, Bay and Pool team!
I love this. That is so fun.
That is amazing.
Okay, so our budget was $100, right? We had to splurge a little bit for the tricycles, but we did donate those to our family, our team members' kids. So those did get donated. Those are our splurge on Amazon purchase, but the rest of it cost $100 to get all the other materials. And that was always our goal if we were going to do a silly video. We had a $100 budget. And have any of you guys seen the movie Revenge of the Nerds? I don't know if any of you guys have seen it. Some of it might be a little too old for some of you, but it's really funny. And they do a like a beer keg race that they do on tricycles, and it's hilarious. And I think it's super funny. So we totally ripped it off from that idea. And what I want you to think about is as you develop themes, you can start thinking ahead on your fun. So as you're watching movies or as you're seeing other people ideas, we call it R&D, right? But it's rip off and deliver. Right? You can steal ideas from other people and make them your own. And so for us, that was a great way when watching that movie last year. I went, oh my gosh, that would be so much fun to do a tricycle race and we can have a good time doing it. And it created this buzz where we've had over 15,000 people watch that little film, right, that we created that was all about just being silly, but it shows a lot of personality, right? It shows it might be fun to work with us. We might be creative and not afraid to be a little self-deprecating. So what I want you to do is, hang on one second here. We're gonna pull the screen back up. I want you to think about in your business and in your life, how we can maybe put some of these words into action for you. Just to give you an example of a couple of other ways in which we're showing it in our business, and we're gonna dive into yours. Like if we're talking about value, one thing we did was we created a marketing piece, right? And with a little co-author for a book that we wrote that we sent out as free material, right? It's always better when somebody else is willing to endorse you. We have a little raving fans program we created that was the idea if anybody is willing to give us a referral, which is amazing, how could we thank them throughout the year, right? And then how could we take whatever we're doing and take that online? And so we had this idea, and you guys are welcome to take it and rip it off yourselves. But the idea was if one person is willing to give me a referral of a friend or a family member, if I could just put energy behind not just sending that person, which we were doing like a Starbucks thank you card and a little something, what if I could send them something a couple of times a year that was a delight and surprise for them that would make them think of us throughout the year? Maybe instead of one referral, they could give us 2 or 3. And so the idea came, the first year we did this, we had 163 referrals, but I think you could do this with 10 people, honestly. We had 163 referrals that somebody had given, people throughout our database, sphere, farm area, agent to agent had given us referrals on. And my crazy harebrained idea was, what if we could just get those people, instead of giving us 1 referral, what if we could get half of them to give us 2 referrals throughout the year, right? And so we put together this little raving fans box. The goal was $25 or less. We want to be RESPA compliant, and it doesn't matter whether the deal closes or not. I'm not trying to pay to play. You have to get all your legal disclaimers in there, right? And the theory was that we could get a third to a half of those people just to refer us twice. And so we started building relationships with local business owners, which to me in Lubbock would be an amazing opportunity right now. And we went to them and said, what's the slowest season that you have? And can we buy something from you that we could send out to our people that have referred us to help support you and advertise you a little bit, but also help give you some sales in your downtime? And so our first year we had 163 referrals. We did this for a year. And our second year we had 225 referrals. And our third year we average now we're sitting around 250. And I really think a lot of that is how we took the relationships and took it online and then the surprise offline to craft that story around, right? Thanking people for doing business from us and getting them to think about us. So what I want you to do as you scroll through your pictures or you look at the theme, some of the words that we just talked about, I want you to pick 3 to 5 things that you could talk about effortlessly week after week. And I want you to write those down. This could be, I heard family, I heard travel, I heard education, and some of the scrolling fun, I heard experiences, relationships. I want you to sit and I want you to write down 3 to 5 different themes that you could talk about. And I promise I'll give you mine too. And as you think about them, feel free to put them out. Tatum had great ones. Family, vacation, and special events. Those are awesome. I know one of Amber's is going to be puppy dogs. Another one is going to be exploring Dallas, Fort Worth, making amazing coffee drinks. It's going to be another one of hers. Mindy wrote family, food and drinks, and events. Anne has family, friends, and fun. That's awesome. Sissy has travel, grandbabies, love that, food and drinks. Joanna has special events, family, soccer and sports, love that. I happen to be a Longhorn by graduation, but most of my good friends went to tech, so I feel like I'm kind of an adopted Red Raider, even though I didn't technically go to tech. You guys are like my sister school. We've got sports, family, fitness, experience, love that. Jaylene said kids, houses, style and decor, encouragement, that's a neat one. Ruben, kids, gardening and inspiration, I love this. Okay, so I'm gonna share with you mine too as you guys are putting yours up on the side. So on my side, I had my first one, which tomorrow, by the way, is Cinco de Mayo and also Taco Tuesday. So I feel like this is the perfect marriage of my week. But I, am having major withdrawals of not getting to go eat Mexican food at least once a week. But B, I love Mexican food and I love Tex-Mex. I love all things queso, tacos, enchiladas, pupusas, black bean dip, you name it. I was meant to live in Texas. I love anything Mexican food. So the other thing I liked about the food theme being kind of a Texas-based food is by having some fun with the theme of tacos, that really has actually driven people remembering that tacos are kind of a Texas thing, right? And Seychelle loves tacos and lives in Texas. So it's kind of helped to drive a little bit of regionality around reminding people where we're from, which has been really nice too. I'll show you guys, I have a love of like interior design, and we've been on the hunt for some chairs actually for the room behind me that doesn't have chairs in it right now, right behind me. So we've been having some fun with design, family. And what's interesting with family is I have our 6-year-old daughter, but when she was born, my husband really felt strongly that he didn't want her all over social media. And so I can, like, we kind of, and I totally respect that and understand that he wanted her to be able to have her own identity. That's totally cool. But that really cut down then on the number of like cheating pictures that I could do, because everybody loves a cute kid picture, right? So I had to figure out a way to get creative with that. While still kind of respecting our agreement with that. So I'll show you that. Learning, teaching, and growing. And then number 5 is the real estate business. John also asked me, where do you get pupusas? In Dallas, there's a place called Gloria's that has amazing pupusas. And if you are ever in Dallas, I will treat you to some pupusas, John. So on the family side, right, here's how we can incorporate family and business. So our daughter, right, this is our pie day with the video you guys just saw over here on the left, right? That's her helping us load all of the pies into the vehicle to go deliver for the business, right? How can you merge family and business? This video over here on the right is actually on a golf course that my grandfather was the first general manager of. And so we tied in really tagging the company he had worked with and our family ties to that golf club as to like the relationship to this house. So there are ways you can kind of tie the business and family together without making it feel really salesy and in conversation. I think obviously the easiest way to do that is to be able to post where your family is and what you're doing on a regular basis, right? Like the kids' pumpkin patch, like math problems, right? I have to get creative because they don't want me showing, right, all the cute kid pictures. So I've had to get creative with ways we can do it where it's maybe not quite in your face on on that. So, you know, if we think about our themes and you're looking back at what resonates with you on those, then we have to set some boundaries, right? Because what doesn't belong is just as important as what does belong. Okay. So I want you to think about, for us, right? I knew for my husband, he didn't want the front of our daughter's face all over social media. So you'll notice pretty much anytime I'm posting on social media, that's not there, right? I also realized for me that I didn't want to post listing all the time. I had to get creative and tell a story around it so that I wasn't turning people off. So you kind of need to think about what your boundaries are going to be, or also how much you are and are not going to share, so that it doesn't become that you just share everything about you personally. And we really want to turn these into stories so that you're taking people on a journey with you. I think that's something that a lot of people on social media miss, is the opportunity to tell a story and take people on a journey. And so what we're looking to do is make a connection to you. And now everybody on this call is going to want pupusas. So you guys are all welcome for that. Right, you want to make a connection. You want to encourage participation and then create engagement and cement that relationship. And I think if there's anything you take away from the class, this is the piece that we're really driving towards, is we have to tell a story that has a character, right? It has a setting. It has something that happens in it that then creates a little bit of participation, engagement, a challenge, a struggle, an overcoming. And then there's a resolution, right, that goes to the end of it. And just like our kids' storybooks at home, right, we're looking to create that same thing with the themes that you're looking at with your side. So if we take a look at that, let's take a look at the chair theme, right? This would be something from the design standpoint where we are on the look for a hunt, right, for a chair. So how could we create an engagement around design, a conversation around different styles of chairs, right, that could drive that conversation? So if you look down below at this is kind of silly, but it's really interesting to me. Look at the number of comments on that first post on a chair. We had 157 people having opinions on our chairs. Do you know what's also funny? We had 2 people say that they were looking to buy real estate from that silly chair post. Because then they started talking about where the chair would go in their room, right? Where it would go in their house, okay? We then have, by the way, my husband vetoed the pink chair. I think it's really freaking awesome, but I got vetoed on the pink chair. So then he's in the store and he sends me this picture of this brown one. Do y'all know how much this chair costs? You guys have to guess. Y'all just have to guess how much this chair costs. Any guesses? It is more than $1. I'll start you off with that.
$500.
It is more than 500, Michael.
2,000.
More than 2,000.
$32.50.
Oh, that's really close. $3,460 for this chair.
Why?
This one, right here. I don't know, but I was like, is there like cocaine in the seat? Like, is it made of gold bars? Like, what do we not know about this chair that is like the most magical thing in the world? But it was really funny. So we created this great conversation story around the journey to find a chair. Now, I know that sounds silly, but it's a fun thing you can create a story and create conversation around, right? Because people love to have opinions, right? The same thing on a story with running. My daughter early last year came to me. She was at like this just magical little Montessori school that has like 35 kids in it before she went to kindergarten. And the director of the Montessori school came up to me like mid last spring, it was April, and goes, Quinn told me about your secret. And I was like, well, you know, you kind of, I don't know if any of you guys have kids, right? But anytime somebody says that they know about a secret of yours, you're like, I'm not going to tell you any of my secrets. You tell me what you know, right? You're like, you go first. You tell me what you got told, because I'm not just going to start blabbing all of my internal secrets. She was like, I hear you're expecting a baby sister. And I was like, we are? Well, that's exciting, because I didn't know about that. And so we're riding home in the car, and we walk in, you know, kind of from the back door home from school. And I'm like, Quinn, Miss Cat told me today that we are gonna have a little baby sister. And she goes, oh yeah, Mama. And I said, what are you talking about? And she reaches over and she just pats my belly right there. And she goes, it's right here. I can see it. You guys. So I became a runner last year. basically to keep my then 5-year-old from telling everyone that we were expecting a second child, which we were not. And we decided to take people on the journey of the running, right? And that is so true, right? Things that tell the truth, small children, drunk people, and yoga pants. I mean, and can we just say, like, in the act of COVID, all three of those things are more true than they have ever been. But that was a journey then that we went on to go run. And what was neat was I found this whole community of people that were runners that I didn't know about in our neighborhood. I found a lot of people that were struggling with their own, you know, like health journeys, that we got to then have all these great conversations around health and nutrition and running. My goal was literally just to like not have my 5-year-old tell everyone we were expecting a child, but it became a greater conversation. And at the end of the year, last year, we were up in northern Michigan, and I was 8.1 miles shy. I had gotten really, really sick right before we went up, and I was 8 miles shy of my 500-mile goal. And I will tell you guys, I had 30 texts from people on December 31st asking me if I was going to get my 8 miles in that day. And so it's interesting when you create a story, all of a sudden you bring people along with you. And that became a 10-month-long journey. And I know some of you might be like extreme athletes, and 500 miles is like what you do in a day. But for me, having gone from zero running to like actually, you know, starting to run in my life, it was a way to take people on a journey with me and encourage and inspire and educate people in a journey that I was on too. And that's the kind of story arc you want to create. Right. And I didn't intentionally not run 8 miles the last day of December so that people were hanging on pins and needles. I did get it in, and it was in the snow, and it was miserable, but I did it. But that really showed me, when you create a story arc, how much people pay attention and want to go on that journey with you. And that's where the magic happens. And so who was it that was our awesome title rep? Where did you go? Miranda. You were talking about not wanting to overshare or beat the dead horse with saying things over and over and over again. I think you have to say the same thing in a different way over and over again, if that makes sense, to create the story. But I do think that repetition is what creates people to come along with you, because that's where the magic happens. And then if somebody is willing to comment or post or message you, you can't take that for granted. You do need to circle back around and make sure you are answering the question or thanking them or creating the engagement, because that's then where they're encouraged to come back, right? And go with you on that journey. And so this would be an example of how we took, right, the online to the offline. So this is a home that we put under contract off market for one of our clients. That's the backyard. It's amazing. John on our team helped find it and put it under contract, right? And so we said, this backyard, it's stunning. We helped this, you know, buyers put this home under contract. Wouldn't you like it, right? Francesca is going, it's so pretty, right? Feroz over here goes, oh, wow, send me details, right? So then we send him details, and now he's interested in buying and selling in that neighborhood. Right? So that's how the conversation kind of can move. We gave him some content, not share my listing, but we gave them something he couldn't get online, right? A home that was not on market. And with the new NAR rules, we got to be careful with how we share that, right? Because it will have to go on. If it is a listing of ours that is coming soon, you need to be careful, because we do have to put that on MLS within 24 hours of advertising that. But you could still do it 24 hours before it hits MLS, right? And create buzz and engagement around it. And so I'm encouraging you to think creatively with not just sharing something that's readily available that anybody can find, but instead, how could you use this as an advantage to tell a story about something that they can't find, that they can't get? Does that make sense? What does this make you guys think as far as things you could use in your business to do that?
Hey, Cheryl.
Hi.
Thanks for sharing. Yeah, I would definitely say tying the story to a house, like rather than like, hey, here's just a new listing. It's the story, even on the closings. We've talked about that recently, and you reminded us, is just how are we telling their story and people latching onto that more than the house that looks the same as all the rest.
Right, because I mean, the houses are a dime a dozen, and fortunately right now everybody needs housing. They all want to live in something that they love, and it's really the story and how they live in it and how they use it that's really going to make all the difference, or where they're going, right? Their story of where they're going and how you can help make that happen, that you're inserting yourself into the conversation without being salesy, right? Because that's really, to me, the fine line with real estate and social media, right? How can I tell you I'm really successful without having to tell you I'm really successful? Right? That's honestly, right? Like the key of the humble brag, right? I love that. What else does that make you guys think of? John, I saw your little one dancing over there. Music needs to be in yours. What else do you guys think of? So when you're looking at defining this, and I want you guys to think through this, here's sort of the magic of how we do this. So what I want you to do is go through your list of your themes, and I want you to define your goal. Is your goal to grow your database? Is your goal to get cold leads? Is your goal to get move people through a funnel to be hotter, which means you might have fewer people that you're driving through that pipeline, but they become really hot? Is your goal to become an authority on a topic? You know, and I think about like an agent in Oklahoma City, his name's Simon Shingleton, who's a great guy, and he's a single agent with one assistant. He did like 700,000 in GCI last year. He's awesome. And he has like 2 neighborhoods he dominates in the 405, you know, area code. He has 2 neighborhoods. He wants to be all luxury all the time. And that's really what he caters to. And he has decided he wants to become the authority on luxury. And so whenever he's talking about something, his goal is to frame it with, when you think of luxury in Oklahoma, you think of Simon Shingleton, right? So it doesn't matter what it is, but what's your goal that you're trying to accomplish? Is it that you want to recruit people to your team or your brokerage? Is it that you want to become a teacher? Ginny Wolick is a great example of somebody who really wants to give back and become a teacher. And she decided, my goal is to create a community of people engaging, right, in social media that I can help attract, and that will in turn grow my business. So whatever that goal is, then we need to insert the cocktail party mix, which is for every 3 things personal you talk about, then you can insert 1 thing business. It's a 3-to-1 formula. And we've used this for 7 years without fail. It works like a charm. It's 3-to-1. So you post 3 things personal, or talk about 3 things personal, and then you insert an, oh, by the way, I'm successful, or oh, by the way, this is really interesting, or oh, this is really helpful. And now you're going to go and you're going to look through your list of topics that you said you could talk about, and we're going to create a thing. And with that thing, whether it is tacos or like our chat with the pupusas, it's 2, by the way, a couple of people were asking, who's from El Salvador? Someone told me you were El Salvador. Who's from El Salvador here? Who is that? Where did you go? My chat disappeared. John, will you take yourself off mute? Are you from El Salvador?
My sister-in-law is.
Yeah, explain the pupusa just for a second, because these are life changing, guys.
Yeah, they're amazing. I was there this last summer, and they're really big. They eat them all the time, breakfast, lunch, dinner, almost. Kind of like tortillas, but different than the tortillas here. They're a little thicker, kind of like a gordito maybe or something, but they stuff them, and sometimes it's stuffed with all that, or you can get them different, you know, just with cheese or cheese and bean or cheese meat, and, you know, and they stuff them, and then they have it's kind of like it's like coleslaw, but it's good, and you put that on top and on top of that, and
so good. So just, Anne is giving you guys places in Lubbock to find at La Mesa. You need to go find them because they're magical. Thank you, John. They're awesome. So I had a couple people in here asking about them. So it's like, well, we can't not answer that question. That is very important. Pupusas might just save you from all of the chaos that we have of COVID. So, right, when we look at the goal, you're looking at what you want it to be. Oh, that was a drive-in theater in La Mesa. Just kidding. You can't get pupusas there. Sorry, you'll have to find them elsewhere, but we'll figure it out. Here's your cocktail mix, right? Personal, 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 business. Personal, 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 business. Does that make sense? And your thing. And Amber's done, I will tell you guys, Amber's done a really good job with this. She took this and really adopted it and has put it into use. So if you're not following her, you should go follow her on social media because she's really put this into action, where she's put just a bunch of different pieces into play, whether it's dogs and the adorable dog Ziggy that she has right now that she's helping to rescue and move into adoption, to coffee, to exploring parts of Dallas-Fort Worth, to talking about real estate. She's doing a really good job of taking people on the journey with her, and you can really see her themes defined. So that's one of the reasons why she and I were really passionate about being in this class today. And Amber, have you noticed a difference since you've started taking this into themes, what that's doing in your world?
Yes. So when I would post something about coffee, like I did this morning, I think that was like maybe 30 minutes ago. But when I do something like coffee, everybody likes that. And if you don't, you should. But when you comment, I comment back, and then it's just like a whole conversation, and then it just turns into a whole thing. So then when people are at a coffee shop or making one at home, they'll text me a picture of it or send it on Instagram or something. And so it's like we're connected by just this one post that I did. So it's kind of cool. And when I talked to Leanne the other day, she was like, I've been following your coffee adventures. I'm like, oh, yay. So it's kind of fun to connect with people like that.
It's awesome. I love that. And you can see it. I mean, literally, when did you start implementing this? Right after family reunion?
I think so. It was from your class at family reunion.
Yeah, so this would have been from family reunion to now. You can go back and watch her stories unfold, and the engagement has drastically gone up, right? And what's interesting is in testing this, right? So I started with tacos because I really do love them. Here are some of the things that have been sent by other people our way now because they are thinking of tacos. So these are other people. I got sent actually from our title rep, this amazing burrito blanket, right? This adorable sign, as for me and my house, we will serve tacos, salsa 24/7. We have it's crazy. I get sent this kind of stuff at least once or twice a week now of tacos. I got 2 taco posts this morning, but it's because we've created a theme and a conversation around it that now people are thinking of you without you having to push conversation out, which makes it really fun and engaging and silly, right? But it's a great way to create a dialogue and a relationship within Drives to Business. Okay, now what I want you to do next, and this is what you're gonna do right after this class, is you're gonna go take 30 minutes on your themes, and you are literally just gonna go create an album on your phone of photos around this theme. And the reason why we're gonna do this is because I don't want you having to think every single week of what the heck am I gonna post, right? That's not the goal here. The goal is for you to have an image bank. So I literally have like a folder of tacos. I have a folder of fun shares that I've been searching for that I think are neat and interesting to post, right? I had a folder every time I went running. I would take screenshots or pictures of interesting things that I may not use today, but I might use in a month from now, right? Now, once you around your couple of themes, I just want you to go Google pictures that might be funny or interesting or entertaining around that for you to have as a reserves. Because then you're able to take that and create conversation around it without having to think it through all the time. You need to make it simple. It needs to be predictable, and it needs to be something that's easy to implement. Because I don't know about you guys, but especially right now with home and family and business all so on top of each other, I don't have the energy to sit there and like pontificate strategy for 4 hours. I just don't. I don't need anyone. I mean, I will trade spots with you if you have that right now in your life. But it's difficult to do that, and especially right now because we have so many things going on in our life. We need to think that through. And so one of our team members loves movies, and so he's gone in, right, and made all these lists of his favorite movies, and he's gone in and found pictures and funny memes and interesting gifs and different things that he's using in that. So I want you to go and I want you to have your image bank. And then what I want you to do is go take a look, just print out your little calendar over the next month, and I want you literally just to rotate your topics, right? All the way around. And it's gonna be 3 to 1, which makes it easy. So you're gonna be like, if it was my world, right, it would be tacos, running, a chair, something about real estate, right? And then it might be, I learned something because I'm learning based, right? So a book that I'm reading, probably a pupusa or a taco or something queso or funny or interesting, right, around food. And then it's going to be how I had to run off the tacos that I ate yesterday because I overloaded. And then it's going to be, by the way, I'm successful in business again, right? So you see how it just kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Other people aren't actually going to notice that you're doing that. They're not going to be like, oh, it's Tuesday again. Seychelles eating tacos. That's not what's going to happen. No one notices that. But you're going to know then that you have a rhythm, and you put it on your calendar, and then you're going to do it for 2 or 3 minutes every day. And you're just going to post it out there either first thing in the morning, late afternoon, or evening time, or the times when you really want to focus on posting. If you're going to do it, pick one of those times to put it out there to create the most engagement. Late morning through early afternoon, people are still working and really engaged and focused, so they're not checking their phone for it. And then what I want you to do is what Nick Waldner actually taught us to do, which is great, and that's the 5-5-5. So your 5-5-5 is going to be, you're going to focus on having 5 conversations with people to create a relationship. You're going to go and send 5 notes or personal emails to people a day. And then you're going to go find 5 people on social media that you can send direct messages to. And then every month you're going to repeat those people. Does that make sense? So if today is the, right, may the 4th be with you, today is the 4th, and I was talking to 5 people today, next month I'm going to go send those same 5 people an email or a note on the 4th. And then another month later, I'm on the 4th again, I'm going to go post on their social media, comment like their photos, send them a direct message on social media, and then I'll start again with phone calls again the 4th of the 4th month. Does that make sense? You guys with me on that? Okay. Any questions around that? Does this help with strategy? Yes? No? I'm seeing yeses. Okay. Amber's offering to help people walk through this too. I just saw her post on the chat as well. You're so awesome. Thank you for doing that. So any questions around the personal side? I want to make sure we're like really being on time, you know, on time, number 1, but very impactful, number 2. And do you feel like you have the tools you need in order to be able to put that together where you could walk out of today with having that? And the beauty of it is you could schedule the follow-up in Command if you're using it, or whatever CRM you happen to be using to do that. Does anyone want to talk business page for a second? A couple of you? Okay, so let's go into business page. And we'll be respectful of everybody's time. I plan to have you guys, we'll end very close to 12 o'clock. So when we look at business pages, it's actually just the reverse. So a lot of people think, well, I need to have 2 separate personas. I need to have my personal page is all personal and my business is all business. I hear that all the time. And what the mistake we made that we make is most real estate businesses are based on a personality that's running the business. And people want to then relate to you as a business owner when they're going to work with someone. So what you need to think about is if you run a business and you don't show any of your personality in the business, then really all they're looking at is house pictures, which goes back to the cocktail party problem. So what we typically have found is on your personal, which I think is actually probably the most impactful thing to focus on if you're focusing on online presence with real estate, your personal is going to be your easiest, most impactful, quickest way to business. If you're looking at your business page or your business Twitter or your business Instagram or your business LinkedIn, it's the exact opposite formula. 3 things business to 1 thing personal or personality based. Okay, and it may be less that you're posting about you at tacos, but it might be that you're posting about interesting interior design, or that you're traveling to a conference, but you need to I'm teaching with Lubbock today, right? Whatever that is, it would be something that's a little bit more personal that shows your personality on top of your business. Okay. And I think one of the best things we can do that I hope stays in our business is the virtual walkthroughs. And what we're doing right now is I'm not putting those out on Zillow. Our team is not. We are holding those back, and we are using those to generate leads for virtual open houses, for virtual walkthroughs. We're keeping that back. And we're testing that first to see what sort of information can we withhold that's not available everywhere, that can be sold as leads back to us. What can we do to take back control of our listings? I think this is one of the best things that's come out of all of this with shelter in place has allowed us to get creative in how we can capture our business again. Are you guys seeing anything that's working well in your business that's allowing you to capture your leads? Is anyone rocking with like virtual open houses or coming soon videos or anything like that that's been working really well? I can't see everybody's raised hands. So if you're raising your hand, I can't see you. Okay, so this might be something then that's an opportunity for working on. So what I want you to do is, if you're looking at doing advertising through your Facebook business page, I think this is really where Command can be a benefit for you, because we do have the direct relationship with Facebook directly. I do understand that I think it was last month, there were a couple of quirks that they were working out because we keep breaking Facebook's ad campaign manager. They've never had a corporate account set up with this size before. So as far as I know, this morning it was back up and running, but we know agents that are creating leads into their Command for anywhere from 40 cents to $2 a lead. And if you go and buy leads from companies like Boomtown or Sync or any of those other CRMs, I know we were being charged anywhere from $14 to $21 a lead. So that's a huge, huge maximization of your budget that you can use for, you know, if you set a budget for $50 or $100, you're looking at anywhere from 25 to 50 leads to nurture to get those through to clients. So I think it's something really that would be an awesome thing to take advantage of, to look at moving it forward. Do you guys have any questions around that from the business standpoint side? And I think you just need to keep A/B testing it, right? The virtual walkthroughs are what's getting us the most click through right now on our ads. And you're welcome to go play around and click on a bunch of our business pages and our Facebook pages to see that. I'm going to pull out of this for a second. I'm going to pull up our Facebook account. Hang on one second, and I'll show you. So if we go to our Facebook page, it's important to have video up at the top. And those neighborhood videos you can download from Command are fantastic if you aren't downloading those. Or you can go to, there's a website called Promo Video that allows you to create 30 to 60-second videos that are beautiful, like cinematography, awesome canned footage that you can use and stitch together really easily. Then we have one of our videos up top that's a featured video that's some form of a video walkthrough. And then it gets into any of our listing videos down below that. The other thing we've started doing, that now that everybody's comfortable with Zoom, that I think would be awesome, is we're filming like FAQs called Mythbusters, which is any objection that we're getting from a client right now, we're just keeping it on a Word document of a list. And once a week I'm going through and shooting Zoom video just like this, right? And we're doing Mythbusters, and we're turning those into FAQs to drive video content. But video is going to become king. A lot more people are comfortable with being on video just like we all are here right now today. And so if you're not taking advantage of this time to do that, it's a great opportunity for 15 or 30 minutes a week that you can go create amazing content that's going to be out there and last, that you can post. And now I want to be respectful of everybody's time. It is 12:02. I've got on my clock to stay around till 12:10 to answer any questions or talk through any individual scenarios if you guys would like that. But I also want to be respectful. If you guys have to pop off, you're more than welcome to. But you know, we're here for you, and we want to help as much as possible, because this is an amazing time for us to grow our businesses and really to look at things differently, right? Because we've done it in the past doesn't mean we have to. And everyone's open to change right now, which is a great opportunity for us to take advantage of that too. Do y'all have any questions or challenges or things that are going on right now that you guys want to work through? Or specific scenarios? When it's this quiet, I feel like sometimes maybe I overwhelmed you.
Well, I have a quick question, and it's more maybe just to ask about resources. So as I look at my social media, it's kind of all over the place. So I'm looking for maybe one-on-one coaching from someone. Do you have any contacts or anybody that you would recommend in terms of just maybe walking through that process more with someone so that you can start to build your personal brand?
I think in your market center, and I'm going to ask this for Lubbock too. Lubbock, do y'all have a productivity coach?
We do.
Would that be something that somebody like your productivity coach could help walk through with this?
For sure. Yep. Tiffany or Jason can help with that.
So my thought is either of those two can sit down and walk through with you your plan, because really what this is becoming a business plan or a social media plan, right? That's geared towards driving your business. That's a great question, Adrian. And here in Dallas, right, that would be either like up at our market center, or that would be Saber on the team that would walk through and take you through that. That's a great question. And you know what I think too is helpful is finding an accountability buddy, even just a buddy system of, and that's something Amber and I did when we taught this class at Family Reunion, was we just created a one-on-one buddy system where you would have one person that was accountable with you, that you guys are helping to check each other's content or come up with ideas, or just make sure you're keeping each other on track so that you're not falling off the radar. I think sometimes when I just know somebody else is watching for something, I'm going to do it. Because I'm just having an accountability partner or a coach, you're like, well, now I have to run at 5:45 in the morning because there's 3 other people standing outside my front door. I can't not show up, you know. So I think having that accountability partner makes it a great match for that too.
This was so helpful. I think I see all the time like the separation of business and personal pages, and there's not a whole lot of like mixing.
Yeah.
And so it was really good to just know more of a plan, and that it's okay to share some business on your personal and okay to share some personality in your business page too.
Yeah. Well, you know, you think about that, like, take Barbara Corcoran as a great example of that, right? Barbara Corcoran shows up on TV. She does endorsements for other people, but she's really a personality first, business second kind of a business. And she's created an entire brand around monetizing around that. I'm not saying we have to go completely that direction, but I think that people go to her because they know, like, and trust her. Dave Ramsey, right, is a great example of that. He's become an authoritative source on helping people get out of debt. Now, he has great content behind his personality, but people go to listen to him because he's a brand, right? And I think we need to kind of understand that that's sort of how our database is going to view us too. I'm getting more comfortable with being the authoritative source and being the brand, which was really hard for me. I'm actually much more comfortable behind the curtain, and I would rather somebody else be out in front. So that was something I had to really work to get over. But becoming comfortable being uncomfortable in that arena has really helped me grow our database and grow our amount of business, because you guys are also smart and knowledgeable. It's just being comfortable putting it out there. And I think the more comfortable you can become, the better stories you're going to tell, and the more people you're going to bring along for the journey, and you're going to watch your business just explode.
That's so good. I do have one question just about, like, I know you talked about the cycle of like 3 to 1. How often would you say that we should repeat that? Is that a weekly thing?
I think it's you need to have it be a perfect formula, right? But I think for those of you that are high detail, it's an easy formula. But like, I'll show you, count up so you can, first thing in the morning, my energy is, you can kind of see our Instagram, right? This is a house that we're working on remodeling, some inspiration quotes, right? So you can see sort of 1, here's business, 2, 3, business. My daughter had a rough day, so we had an ice cream sundae party. 2, 3, right? So you can kind of see 3 personal here, 1 business, right? So you can kind of scroll through and see, I'm not with it, but it's pretty kind of 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
Mm-hmm.
And kind of scroll through and see.
Awesome.
So if that helps at all, that's sort of how we look at it.
Love it.
And I think that just makes it easy. I don't think you have to follow it, but probably at least once a week, I'm rolling through the 1, 2, 3, at least 1.5 times.
Awesome.
And I started with personal first, and then we moved to business. but pick one of them. Don't focus on both at the same time because it gets too overwhelming. I would just do one. And if you focus on one, I would focus on the personal first, because then you can invite your personal people to like your business page. So I would start there and then move over. Well, I really appreciate you guys for joining today. We love your office. We love your market center. We think you guys are fabulous. So if there's anything we can ever do for you here in Dallas, Fort Worth, or Austin, please let us know. We're always happy to help. And thank you for letting us steal Amber down here too, because we're thrilled she's here. She's awesome. So you guys are great. And if there's ever anything we can do to help you guys personally, please don't hesitate to reach out. We're happy to check over plans or take a look at it and see what we can do to help you there too. We appreciate you guys.
I appreciate it.
Stay safe.
Have a good day.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.